All right, do we have
7:02? Okay. Yeah, I guess we have the audience here. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're excited to launch one of the most popular sought after projects in 2021. Most of you may have been waiting for this for a very, very long time. Our partners in the builder's office will be starting the presentation momentarily. Kindly write your questions here in Q&A section, and we'll do our best to answer your questions during the presentation. After the meeting, your designated sales rep will be reaching out to you to answer any questions you may have and walk you through the hot list, the pricing, help you pick a unit and submit the worksheet if you choose to move forward. Um, Here's my recommendation. Most of our investors, even if in doubt, will do the worksheet and basically sign the APS in the first round of release to lock up the units. And then they have 10 days to think about. You could drop it at any time, no questions asked. But if you hesitate now, chances are you would not be allocated in a day or two from now. Everything will be sold out. Good luck and enjoy the presentation.
Thank you.
Directly beside the subway station, connecting you to the entire city.
Having that access to where you work, to retail, to entertainment, to healthcare, to education is a huge attraction. It kind of reinforces and supports the lifestyle that most of us came to Toronto for in the first place. You don't get a better address than this in the city of Toronto. We knew right away that we had to do something that was completely different. It's highly influenced by the area. It captures the energy and the diversity of the immediate neighborhood, and it captures the sophistication and elegance of the context in which it exists.
8 Wellesley is really going to be the most enviable building in the neighborhood.
First impressions matter. We wanted to feel the luxury of Yorkville coming home.
And we put so much effort in making sure that every little finish is on par with such an iconic location.
21,000 square feet of amenity space that has been well thought out for today's modern world, today's modern buyer.
You have indoor spaces leading into outdoor terraces that once again will add to the animation of the street and the neighborhood.
It offers everything that someone wants when they think of a luxury lifestyle in a downtown location.
This is an incredibly unique opportunity to get onto Yonge Street at the heart of the city, starting in the 500,000s.
You get these once in a while. You get a project that comes through the doors that doesn't need any pretension, if you will. The building and its location speak for itself.
This really stands out as the best location Center Court has ever brought to market, the most centrally located, accessible site in the city.
There are some buildings that become markers in the city by their scale, by their form, by the architecture, their prominence. I think 8 Wellesley is going to be one of those. Look at where we're situated. You couldn't get a better location.
Yonge Street doesn't need an introduction. When you're this close to everything that matters in the downtown core, it simplifies your life.
The area is just so vibrant, and it's one of the most sought after neighborhoods. You just have access to the entire city.
This is 700 meters away from Yorkville. High-end retail, fine dining, luxury hospitality, all at your doorstep.
The truth is we may never be able to develop a site on Yonge Street ever again. It's becoming so rare. There's not a single opportunity out there that comes close to a location like this.
It offers immediate access to employment opportunities, endless lifestyle amenities, not to mention you're directly beside the subway station, connecting you to the entire city.
Having that access to where you work, to retail, to entertainment, to healthcare, to education is a huge attraction. It kind of reinforces and supports the lifestyle that most of us came to Toronto for in the first place. You don't get a better address than this in the city of Toronto. We knew right away that we had to do something that was completely different. Energy and the diversity of the immediate neighborhood, and it captures the sophistication and elegance of the context in which it exists.
8 Wellesley is
Hello, everyone. My name is Jason Lamb, Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Center Court. I'm honored that you're joining me for the most anticipated condominium release of 2021. This is the official launch of 8 Wellesley, located in the heart of the city at Yonge Street. And what better way to kick off 2021 than bring you one of the most iconic sites in the market's history? Because this isn't just any launch. 8 Wellesley embodies the core definition and values of connectivity, convenience, luxury, and lifestyle. And when you can marry all of those with elegant interior design, extraordinary architecture, and some of the most functional suite layouts and amenities imaginable, anything less is just not good enough, because this is landmark, this is iconic, this is AAA. And today we're going to put you in the right position to learn more about this opportunity, but more importantly, how you can be a part of this. So make sure you watch to the end for all the details, including pricing, plans, and instructions, because everything you need to know about 8 Wellesley is coming up ahead. As you can see, I'm at Scotiabank Arena, home of the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Toronto Raptors. And I had the chance to sit down and had a candid conversation with one of the most respected and influential leaders of our time. Now, this individual has brought this city so much more than just some hope. This mad scientist brought us a championship. There's not a single person that's bigger or better as an ambassador of Toronto. He is none other than Masai Ujiri, president of the Toronto Raptors and founder of Giants of Africa. But before that, we want to talk about 8 Wellesley. One of the best parts and the best aspects about Scotiabank Arena and a great location like 8 Wellesley is our proximity to the subway. But then just don't take my word for it. Let's take a ride to 8 Wellesley and I'll show you just how amazing downtown living it really is. The subway is the lifeblood of the city. This right here provides us with the most convenient way to get around the city. And as we continue to grow, there isn't a single piece of infrastructure more vital than this, period. And just like that, we're at Wellesley subway station. Now, before we make our way to the site, I want you to follow the step counter because our proximity from the subway to 8 Wellesley is truly enviable. Now, what's the most important street in all of Canada? What's the most important street in Toronto? And for those of you that are guessing, that's right, it's Yonge Street. Sites like this don't come online very often, and there's nothing like a Yonge Street premium. So when it comes to 8 Wellesley, it doesn't get bigger, it doesn't get better than this opportunity, because honestly, sites like this don't come around very often. Located on the northwest side of Yonge and Wellesley, this is home to the most anticipated launch of 2021. And this is home to the most central location throughout the entire GTA. And within about 100 steps from door to door from the subway to 8 Wellesley, this isn't just close, this is 8 Wellesley close. And the old adage is true. It's all about location, location, location. And when it comes to 8 Wellesley, everything important is within walking distance. No bikes, no cars, no Ubers. So let's go see what makes this the most sought after location in the entire GTA. Just north of our site, you find yourself immediately in one of the most prestigious neighborhoods in all of the GTA. Within 700 meters, you're in the heart of Yorkville. Gucci, Prada, Chanel, Rolex. These are just some of the brands you find here in the McMile in Yorkville. Imagine waking up and having coffee at Zaza's, jumping on the treadmill at Barry's, or having lunch at one restaurant. Yorkville simply offers a luxurious lifestyle you just have to see for yourself. Velut Arbor Avo. That's the motto for the University of Toronto, which directly translates to, may it grow as a tree through the ages. Now, what a fitting motto, because this little tree has grown up to be the #1 ranked university in the entire country. And within 500 meters of 8 Wellesley, you've now got access to 60,000 of the most qualified students in the country. Let me ask you something. What happens when you graduated from arguably the top medical university in the country? I'll tell you what, you're going to cross the street and start your career in the University Hospital Network. Nurses, doctors, surgeons, and scientists, welcome to the Mecca of healthcare, where we've got medical science, technology, and innovation all converging right here. This is home to some of the most respected, high-paying, highly skilled jobs the city has to offer. Thousands of elite career opportunities just steps away from 8 Wellesley. You see that right there? That's the future of Toronto. Known as one of the fastest growing universities in Canada, Ryerson's always at the forefront of innovation and technology. And Toronto's tech scene can largely be attributed to the digital media zone. Between the massive student populations of the U of T and Ryerson, students are always on the prowl for a new home. And investors at 8 Wellesley will always have a never-ending rental pool of the best tenants. Is there anything more iconic than the bright lights and stunning energy of Yonge and Dundas Square? It's not just a place, it's a feeling, a culture, a melting pot that brings everyone together. And as the leading developer and visionary of the neighborhood, nobody values or understands the significance of this community better than Center Court. Do you hear that? That's the pulse of downtown Toronto. It's always on, and so are the residents of this neighborhood. Suits, singles, cocktail hour, surrounded by steel and glass skyscrapers. The financial district is known for its run and gun, work hard and play harder lifestyle. And everyone at 8 Wellesley will have access to over 500,000 jobs in the downtown core at your doorstep. So follow me back to the studio, because 8 Wellesley is right here, right now, and we're going to learn more about the next steps. And here we are in studio. Now, I'm really glad you were able to join me and take to see how special this iconic location really is when it comes to the surrounding area. And I really encourage that you do the walk yourself so you can see and appreciate its unparalleled proximity to everything that matters when it comes to downtown core living. But what you really need to know is just how rare of an opportunity 8 Wellesley is, because sites like this do not come along very often. Now, I know a lot of you are really excited, myself included, to see what I and Masai Ujiri had to say when we had our fireside chat. And we're going to get to that. But now, I really want to focus on the 5 key takeaways of 8 Wellesley. It's a crown jewel AAA location that just doesn't exist in the market today at below market pricing, which is going to be really rare. It's going to be very exciting, with 2.5% installments closing in 2025 by one of the most reputable and trusted developers in the GTA. Back in November, for those of you that were following us, we made a bold statement in declaring that 2021 will be the year of the condo. We carefully studied and analyzed the market, and it's important to understand where the market was, where it is today, to understand where it may be in the future. Now, it's interesting because I want to share information with you so that we can make sense of the market. There's a lot of noise in the media headlines today. So over the last 90 days, we've noticed a price gap between detached home and condominium reach all-time highs. And purchasers are being quickly priced out of the ultra-hot low-rise market. And throughout all of this, the market has continued to thrive through the COVID global pandemic, and condos continue to be the most affordable housing stock throughout the GTA. And we're seeing historically low interest rates fueling purchasing power, which is why I believe that 2021 will be the year of the condo. Furthermore, giving you more data, throughout 2018 and 2019, we saw gradual growth year over year, both in terms of average prices sold in the GTA as well as total transactions. Now, don't forget, 2021 started off incredibly hot, so it would be natural to assume that after the global pandemic hit, that prices and volume sold would probably falter off. The truth is, a lot of words are being used for 2020, and I would say the real word is resilience when it comes to the real estate market. The statistics I'm about to show you are going to blow your mind and give you the right context of where our market is and where I believe it's going to go, because the knowledge that we can extract from this data is going to help all of us better navigate this truly remarkable market. As you can see here, at virtually no point did pricing dip below the previous years in 2020. And what really fueled the market was the unprecedented low-rise sector. And considering all of that, you would assume that total transactions would be below 2018 and 2019, wouldn't you? But the truth is, it wasn't. We did more volumes of sales at a higher price point throughout 2020, which is remarkable. And if that wasn't enough, as you can see in yellow, 2021 is off to a torrid start. And from April of 2020 all the way till now, we haven't seen a dip in pricing. In fact, January 2021 marks the best year we've ever seen on record. And when it comes to real estate, timing is everything, which is why I believe now is the time to highly consider condominiums, because the price gap between condos and detached homes are hitting record highs like we've never seen before. As you can see here, a year ago, the difference in price between a condominium and a detached home was just over $400,000. Lo and behold, 12 months later, it's hit a market high of just over $750,000. This is unprecedented, uncharted territory. For those of you that are in the market right now on the front lines, you're hearing the key words: multiple offers, sold conditional, sold over asking, and limited inventory. The truth is, the market's back, and timing is everything, which is why I believe right now is the time for condominiums. Why? Because the growing price gap between condominiums and detached homes have hit a record high. So let's stay on that topic, because the past can often tell us about the future. And I want to look back at market trends and market data that'll help give us the right information to make educated decisions. So I want to look at the relationship between the price gap between detached homes and condominiums and its direct impact on the average sold condo in the GTA. This graph here shows the average price gap between detached homes and condominiums. And we're also going to look at its relationship of the average price of a GTA condominium. Now, back in 2016, we saw tremendous demand for low-rise, which resulted in a ton of appreciation in that product, creating this huge price gap between low-rise detached and condominiums. And what's happening right here, right now in today's market is uncharted territories, because the price gap has actually never been higher. Now, if we look back at the last time we saw this trend, its direct impact on condos was very positive. And we saw tremendous growth for many years up until 2020 when we hit COVID. And today, right now, we're seeing it firsthand, even more so than the past. So understanding and having the benefit of analyzing historical market data, what do you think will happen to the condo market? That's right. And that's why I believe that 2021 will be the year of condos. And speaking of condos, let's talk about the benefits of pre-construction condominiums, because this is what this is all about. This is why we're here at Wellesley. And for all of you that are tuning in, it's all about no multiple offer stress. Fixed pricing, there's no blind bidding process, and easy, digestible deposit installments over multiple years. No mortgage to assume today, assignment opportunities between now and closing, and the benefit of long-term closings, in particular to 8 Wellesley in 2025. And more than anything, you're getting a brand new home with carry-on warranty. So the exact location of this iconic building is on the northwest side of Yonge and Wellesley. As we saw earlier, just steps to the Wellesley subway station. We've got 599 ultra unique opportunities, over 55 stories. We've got size ranges starting from 311 square feet all the way well past 1,200 square feet. And the beauty is that this is closing in 2025. Not today, not tomorrow, and well past COVID. And more than anything, when you partner up with a AAA developer like CentreCourt, become fully zoned. The architecture and design of 8 Wellesley is unparalleled, because when you have a landmark location like 8 Wellesley, it's so imperative that we put our absolute best foot forward. Themes of the surrounding area, plus the major inspiration from Yorkville, bringing the most special building inside and out that CentreCourt has ever brought to market. Speaking of inside, first impressions are everything. Whether you're doing showings or you're having friends or family over, it was so important for us to set the right tone, the right mood, the moment you step inside our lobby, invoking the best luxurious experiences and understanding that this is what you can expect throughout the rest of the building. As much as we gush over the incredible convenience and lifestyle of the area, 8 Wellesley ups the ante with its interior amenities to match. We prioritize 3 highly practical, useful spaces and maximize them to give you functional amenities that matter. The first is a spacious, multi-level outdoor space for dining, hosting, and relaxing. A sophisticated shared co-working space, perfect for the new normal, followed by a 6,000 square foot fitness center lined with the most state-of-the-art gym equipment imaginable that's 24 hours a day. With over 21,000 square feet of amenities, you're no longer limited to just the confines of your suite. We've established the location, the building, the area amenities, and the building amenities. And what I'm most excited to talk about next is the below market pricing opportunity for all of you tuning in right now. In the immediate area within 700 meters, we have 5 sample locations, all of which are under construction right now. And if you walked into any of those spaces and you wanted to acquire a piece of real estate, you're going to be finding yourself well over $1 million right off the bat. So what that tells me is that 8 Wellesley offers the most sought-after location with the most attractive pricing to match. And CentreCourt is here to bring you value and an opportunity that's just too hard to pass up, because sites like 8 Wellesley come so infrequently that the next time a site launches like this, you'll never see this price point ever again. Now, how we're able to accomplish that is that we're very well known of having the most efficient floor plans with no wasted space, fully maximized for functionality, perfectly designed for this dynamic community. As you can see here in the key plate, we have 2 studios starting in the 500,000s, followed by 1 bedrooms in the high 6s, with 1+1s starting in the 8s, and beautiful corner 2 bedrooms in the 9s, and our 3 bedroom on the northeast side below 1.1 million. This type of pricing, for those of you that know the market, is exactly why this project is so hot right now, but it's only going to be around for a limited time. So it's important that I share with you our release strategy, because urgency is the name of the game. Urgency is key, okay? So the pricing won't last very long, so I want to share with you what's about to happen next, because I want to make sure that you're able to take advantage of this unique opportunity of this below market pricing. So urgency is key. Acting fast is very important, all right? Now, the first phase is the release of 200 suites at pre-launch pricing. Now, we know that this is going to be a hot project, so phase 2, shortly after, will be released of another 200 suites. By the time we get to phase 3, the market will have pushed us up to the point where we know that price is going up. So that phase 3 is coming a little bit later at a higher price. So you need to take advantage, you need to act now. So we've got a AAA location, a AAA developer at below market pricing. And now I want to share with you the best deposit program CentreCourt has ever brought to market. With 2.5% installments, we're going to break this thing out here, with 10% due in 2021, 5% due in 2022, and 5% in 2023. And this is how it breaks down over days. Now, all of this is possible when you've got a developer partnership that has proven time and time again that they can deliver, that you can trust them. And Centercorp in particular, who's been in the business for over 10 years, has brought over 17 projects to the market, representing over 8,300 suites with 0 days of interim occupancy and 0 canceled projects. So when you align with a developer like this, you've got a ton of confidence that your investment is going to be safe. And again, going back to the perfect opportunity, we've got a crown jewel AAA location at below market pricing with easily digestible 2.5% installments, closing in 2025 with a trusted AAA developer. Now, I'm really excited to share with you a conversation that I had with Masai Ujiri. And I'll be perfectly honest, not only was I starstruck, I was uncontrollably nervous as we chatted through a number of really interesting topics like the game of basketball, his unique journey and career path, and our unshakable affinity for the city of Toronto. And like I said, there's not a single better person to be the ambassador of the city of Toronto like Masai Ujiri. But it's important that you stick around immediately following this conversation because I'm going to talk to you about the next steps in how to secure a suite at 8 Wellesley. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this exciting event. My name is Jason Lamb, Vice President of Sales and Marketing of Centercorp, and I'm excited to introduce to you a very special guest joining me here today. He is the co-founder of Giants of Africa, a 2019 NBA champion, and the president of the Toronto Raptors. He's none other than Masai Ujiri. Masai, thank you for taking time to join us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You must get a lot of questions in your travels throughout your career about Toronto, about Canada. So let's say you're recruiting a prospect to play in Toronto. Let's say how would you describe the city to them? What would you say to get them excited? And in your experience, what was said to you when you came here?
It's awesome because you see it so many different ways. And at the time when I came over here, I never had that experience, And but whether it's the diversity of the people that you see, whether it's the restaurants, the feel of I think the city, the feel of the people. There's just something about the culture, the kindness, like the peacefulness of a city like Toronto. It's amazing, and it's a lot of people's favorite place to visit, but they don't know about Toronto to live too. Yeah. And as I've matured in life, I've also experienced it as a father, as a husband, with kids going to school, my kids growing up here, what kind of environment they live in. I always say that, we have to teach the rest of the world, about the culture here, because this is a place I think people would love to live in once they know more about it outside of the cold, because that's what comes to the mind, the first thing, right? But if you think past that, it has to be one of the most incredible cities in the world.
Because you've lived and visited and played basketball throughout all parts of Europe, North America, you've traveled, you're very well traveled. In some of the most recognized cities, having firsthand look, you already spoke to some of the themes, but what sets Toronto apart from these cities in your experience?
I go back again to, the kindness of people, I go back to multicultural, I go back to, you go to a Toronto Raptors game, if I go back to my experiences, I go to a game and the faces you see, it's just people from all over the world, and that says a lot about our immigrant policies and the willingness and open-mindedness, for people to live around different people from different cultures. And in this climate now, I've spoken so much about humanity and who we are as people. That's what it takes, right? And I feel Toronto and Canada as a whole just brings that, brings the best out of people that way.
Yeah, there's a mutual respect for each other, right?
Yes.
And I think you spoke to a lot of themes that we'll catch up a little bit later: immigration, cultural diversity. But while we're on the topic, I want to sort of get really into the downtown Toronto. There's nothing like a playoff game, right? A Raptor playoff game, Jurassic Park, everyone's excited. And for a moment there, in particular, Toronto is a very desirable world-class hub. But there's something about it, right? You mentioned it: themes, the vibe, the lifestyle, the culture, the energy. It's really made it quite one of the most highly regarded cities in the world. What do you think makes downtown Toronto so vibrant and unique?
When I got the job here, Brian Colangelo picked me up from the airport. I was appointed as director of global scouting, and I had been once to scouting Toronto before, and that was my only experience. I had just coming for a day and came to see a prospect play and left. So I didn't really experience it. When he brought me here, he dropped me off. We dropped my stuff off at the uh, at the hotel, and then we went to Yorkville, and we went to a restaurant, and we had food, and afterwards I told him I wanted to, just walk around, and just I didn't know anything. I didn't barely knew anybody here, and it was just so enjoyable for me. I didn't even bring my car from Phoenix. I was living in Phoenix at the time. I did not do anything. I wanted to live downtown in a city, like a New York, like a Toronto, like a London. I wanted to experience it. No car, just get my little apartment, walk the streets, and it's the best 3 years that I ever had. I'd walk from the Soho condos I stayed in at the time to the ACC, and at the time, not Scotia, is now Scotiabank, but that experience, just the exchange, as you said, for me, it's you can't ask for more. Whether it's the restaurants you're going to, whether I was hanging out with friends, whether it was just staying in my apartment and looking at the sight line, or I used to love going down to the restaurant in the Soho bar, the restaurant part, and it was just such a cool environment for me to experience as a young man at the time, and I know that feeling is incredible for a lot of people that get a chance to see it or have it.
And I think a lot of the prospects and players that you bring in, they gravitate towards downtown naturally, right? That's where they end up living. That's where they end up residing. And probably for a lot of the same reasons that you just sort of discussed, right? It's all about proximity, walkability, the lifestyle, the energy, the culture that really define these metropolitans, right? And that's what makes it so exciting. And there's a lot of parallels to what we do here at Center Court in terms of location, our emphasis on that. I want to switch gears here and talk about your business acumen, because I think you've been one of the big inspirations in the city for us, Center Court, as well. We do share a lot in common, us as a real estate developer and yourself as a leader of this ultra consistent, highly successful NBA franchise, right? And so I think us as a developer, we take a very, candid, statistically driven, methodical approach of patience, stats, data, making sure we've got the right personnel to all of our success. And I think you do as well. I mean, in the midst of understanding that success doesn't happen overnight, how do you, keep up with that confidence and that conviction, during the early stages, throughout this long process to before you even get to the end goal?
The first thing I do, whether it's Giants of Africa or whether it's the Raptors, is you always have to empower people. You always have to bring the right people, smart people. I think every person I know I work with is smarter than me, and yes, it has to be that way, because sometimes leaders like us don't understand that these people actually lift you up. The more they are successful, the more you are successful, and so to me, doing that and treating people like the right way, and then all the other things, I think everybody in this world is basically smart, in one way or the other. Everybody has something God has really like blessed them with is finding it. Like how do you find it? And me, I'm crazy in my thoughts. I'm crazy in how I think. I'm crazy in how I work. But I think so is everybody. They just maybe bring it out in different ways. Like, and so in all the organizations I work with or work for, whether it's the NBA, whether it's the Toronto Raptors, whether it's MLSC, whether it's Giants of Africa, and all the people like I affect, I have to transfer that in some kind of way and maybe help them bring, like the best in themselves. And it's that's my job. Like I have to do that. The last part is you have to see it before other people see it. Like if you are a leader, you have to be a visionary in some kind of way. So you have to change. You have to change up things. You cannot be afraid of, pushing the edge, like doing things different from everybody else. You have to take risks. All those things to me, you have to do.
How important is to you to have this sort of this vision, sort of this longer term outlook in sort of the organization process? It's not just the guys on the court, it's not just the guys off the court, it's a collective. So tell me about, how you sort of place the long term outlook and the importance of having a sort of a, consistency and patience in your outlook.
You have to be patient, like, and I think um, the way to look at it is it's not easy to satisfy people, like especially this day on social media and everybody's watching and everybody wants now, right? Everybody wants the result now. And sometimes they're not able to see 2 years from now or 5 years from now or 3 years from now. And again, I go back to us as leaders, like you have to be able to take pressure. You have to be able to make those decisions. You have to, keep taking all those things inwards and develop them into, I think, all positives. And it's hard. It's hard to be a leader in these times, especially, but it's our jobs, like being a visionary and seeing things, ahead, and people are trying to think right now. You have to convey it to them. You have to explain it to them the right way.
There's a lot of themes in what you just said, especially parallels. I draw a lot of parallels to a lot of the themes with how we conduct our business, but also how people look at real estate in particular, having a sort of a longer term outlook. That's where you're always going to come out ahead. And so I think that's important. I think you've said a lot of really unique points that I think a lot of the viewers are going to appreciate. In terms of how you conduct your business. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions that are a little bit more loose. I want to make sure that we can enjoy our time together.
We've enjoyed our time together. What do you mean?
No, I mean just sort of change the pace a little bit. But I know you get this question a lot, but I'd like to hear it firsthand, just directly from you. The buzzer rings. The Raptors are the NBA World Champions. What's going through your head? Who's the first person that comes to mind to you?
At the time, because my wife was in the stadium, it was my wife, and how I went to find her that was what came to my mind, is how to go find her in the stands and where she was. And I know when we hugged, like you think of all those moments that you've gone through, like sometimes even doubts, like and tough times, hard times. And we said a prayer, like at the time, and it was really cool because there's all this noise, there's all this stuff going on, like and to spend that couple minutes with her, I felt that right after I left her, in my mind was Africa won and Canada won.
And who's the first player you embraced?
It was Kyle, actually, because after I went through that incident with obviously with the cop, Kyle was the first I saw, and there was that emotional moment with him.
You guys have a great history together, and I think that the culmination of your success, it meets right there. Everything you both bought into, I think that's a beautiful thing. How fast did you get this off of your mind and get right back to work thinking about sort of the next year?
With that, like we were in the midst of free agency right away with obviously with Kawhi at the time, like so it wasn't like 10 seconds, like in your mind, like when we're pouring champagne in the locker room, you're thinking, okay, um, how do I pour a lot of champagne on him and things and convince him, But those are those things, like it's your mind is always working at the time, and we are blessed, honestly, to be doing the work that we do, and even in hard times, tough times, these, for me, it's just a blessing to work in the NBA and have the jobs that we have.
Absolutely, and you're doing a terrific job. Again, great story. I do want to ask you a question. Let's say you're out of the city, or you were out of the city in the bubble. You land in Toronto. This is your chance to give us a plug on a local business. But what's the first restaurant you're going to? What's the meal you're having if you've been away from Toronto for an extended period of time?
Can I mention 10 of them?
You can mention as many as you'd like, honestly.
No, there are so many I love, like, but I think if I wasn't going to Yoso's, it would be Buka. If I wasn't going to Buka, I think it'd be Dimi.
Great, again, all restaurants that I've been to and great experiences. Do you have a favorite type of food?
I like fish. Yeah, I like fish, and in all three places you can get like a good fish.
Yoso's is where you're gonna go for that, right?
Yes.
There's just so much excitement around the new season, and I know this is an interesting question. I know you know the answer, and I think it's time you share this with the viewers. When is Toronto winning its next NBA championship?
This year. Hey, every year we go into it to win it.
and so that sort of, and you've had a career in basketball. It's obviously something you're very passionate about. Retired or alive, you're playing a pickup game of basketball one-on-one. Who would you want to play with and why?
I grew up loving Michael Jordan, and by the grace of God, I've been lucky to be friends with him. I also love Hakeem Olajuwon because he's from my country, and I've been blessed to, to know him personally too as a friend. It would be one of those two, I think, to mess around and not even play one-on-one with them, just to see Hakeem Olajuwon mess around with him, shoot like a fadeaway jumper, that I think will be cool. And Michael, I see a lot, but it would be cool to hang out on the basketball court with him.
Have you taken time to rewatch the last game?
I saw like a little bit of it when they were showing the reruns, but maybe 10 years from now, I'll actually sit down and really, really like watch it. I will say this: when my parents came into town last summer, my wife was showing them, like some of the open gym, the documentaries, and I remember walking through I didn't sit down with them to watch. I was doing something else, and I walked through the living room, and there was that scene of Freddie hitting that shot and screaming, and the way it made me feel, like just walking there. I remember like really feeling like something inside me, and I'm proud of those guys. I'm proud of Toronto. I'm proud of the Raptors. I'm proud of everybody that works around me or works with us, and it just showed me that scream, like really like set that tone, those emotions.
Growing up playing basketball, what position did you play for the most part?
I played the two guard. Wasn't very good, but
you went around the world. I mean, you played and you traveled, and you got a career out of it for a little bit, and it ended up propelling you into within the industry itself. Did you have a move? Did you have a special move that was Masai Ujiri's own move? A step back, a crossover. Did you have one?
If I actually had one, then I'd be a basketball player. I'd have had a career then, but.
So it's not a step back jumper from 4 feet behind the 3-point line.
I wish I could tell you a good story.
And so I think what's important, I mean, you're such an incredible leader, and you're such a big advocate for growth and positivity. What is your message to Toronto's youth now, heading into 2021?
We got to look at life differently now. I think as human beings, we're resilient. And we have to dream even bigger than we were dreaming before. We also have to think about us as humans. It's why I talk about humanity and who we are as people, like how we were when we first came to this earth, and looking to help others, more, a lending hand, a smile, those things are so important, I think, for us now. We are going to need that going into this new year to pick everybody up, like from where they've been. It's so important. Can hang in there for a little bit more, and we'll get through this. And as human beings, I know we've dealt with this in the past, maybe many years ago, maybe I wasn't even alive. We'll deal with it even better. And we have to think that way.
So in your eyes, how do you see Toronto emerging from the pandemic?
First and foremost, I think Canada generally has done an incredible job. We've seen how we've attacked this pandemic, and I think they've done a really good job of protecting the people in the city. Coming out of it, I think I always say human beings are resilient, and while one of those vibrant cities, I will say even for the little time that it opened up, whether it was the restaurants outside or you could see that people are eager, and people are anxious for this. And I know that we're going to come back to being the real Toronto, like when this is over.
And I think in a lot of ways, there's really no city that I think will rebound faster or more resiliently than Toronto. I'm glad that we don't have to do this over Zoom. I get to do this with you here in person. But I think the way Toronto's been set up, both from a cultural perspective, from a business perspective, from an international tourism perspective, I think the minute that we can get out of this, I think you're going to see the rebound happen seamlessly.
This thing has not been easy for a lot of people. I know how I felt in the bubble. For me, I think of that, and I hope, like we can all rally around each other. And as what I've said, that lending hand, like that smile, and that big hope that we've come out of this, and we've come out of this strong.
I believe that, and something you said earlier is that we're going to persevere, we're going to get over this, and it's again having a mid to long-term outlook, because we will come together. We're going to get into 2021 with nothing but positivity. This has been a great conversation, Masai. On behalf of Centerport and all the viewers, we wish you tremendous success. Your body of work with Giants of Africa is unprecedented, and to see that from the ground up to where it stands today, there's so much for you to be proud of, and your team to be proud of. I mean, as someone that's learning more and more about it, again, it's very inspiring, and I hope the viewers take some time to sort of see what that's all about. I want to thank you for your time, and this was a great conversation.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Don't leave us just yet, because I'm going to talk to you about 8 Wellesley right now. And there you have it, the man himself, Masai Ujiri. This was a conversation about mindset, about Toronto, about how we can move forward, both individually and as a community. And we got to do it with one of the most influential, positive members of our community. And you really have to appreciate his body of work, his drive, and his passion. But what I liked most was his unwavering optimism and hope. Now, let's talk about next steps. Immediately following this presentation, our worksheet portal will be available and open so that you can submit your first worksheets. Agents that RSVP to this event will receive an email from our team with everything you need to move forward. Allocations will start as early as next week, February 22nd, with signing taking place shortly after. And I also want to let you know that our presentation gallery will be open by appointment. And just like that, 8 Wellesley is officially launched. The most anticipated project of 2021 is here. So make sure you secure your suite now. And I want to thank all of you for taking time to join us this evening to learn more about this incredible opportunity. So stay safe, stay warm, and stay healthy. And on behalf of Center Court and Bazis, thank you so much and have a great evening.
Okay, thank you everybody to be patient with us for so long. I guess that was quite a long of a presentation. I learned a lot and I'm sure that you all did. And I'm hoping that we all can start following the instruction. The instruction has been provided to you guys via the email with your realtors. I would encourage you guys to try to connect with your realtors, to fill up the applications, provide your 3 choices, as well as provide your ID, and hopefully we can try to get to be one of the options. We can pick up one of the options that you may ask for. Just to add, not to really drag this because it's already quite late, and I'm sure that everybody want to go back to your family. I want to perhaps do a quick math. We had 283 1-bedrooms, 138 2-bedrooms, and 45 3-bedrooms. Knowing the fact that Yorkville area is being picked as one of the top ranking place for everybody who want to perhaps migrate with the high, I guess, those, want to live in that area surrounded with tons of branding, I guess, stores and so forth. I'm expecting the 3-bedroom is going to go first, knowing that only 1/3 of that's going to be released, as well as knowing that the amount of, overwhelming response that we had and the builder had. I'm expecting this to be really sold out very, very fast. As well, I did a quick math on the comparables that's about to be launched in the area. I wish I could have shared my screen. I can't, but an average is about $2,000, like $2,100 per square foot in that neck of the wood for the new launches. And I hope that you guys take advantage of that. Bazis and Center Core are very well-known developers, and combined with the best location they selected, I'm thinking that this is a very right investment. And set aside the payments and instruction, the payments was very, very friendly. I think that's no-brainer. So
just a quick note, the registration link is in the chat box in the Q&A in case anybody wants to register and they have not yet.
Perfect. Can you please send it again, or everybody can see the chat? Yeah, I may hang. I'm gonna perhaps stay around if you guys have any questions you want to perhaps send it our way, or if you want to perhaps communicate back with our team. We are working really over time to try to make sure that you guys get what you want. I mean, this is all of those things that Messiah and Jason said is really just completing that. I don't really have to echo or parrot them. I guess you guys know what you're doing. The area is perfect, and let's just try to take advantage of the opportunity because not everybody have an access. So
yes, we want to make sure we have your in order to reach out to you with the price list, with the hot list tonight, in order to pick and choose from and go for allocation. Please, if you have not registered, click on the link in the chat box in the Q&A and enter your information.
Yes, thank you, Ali. I think the reminder that the prices were in a very affordable and the sizes are very affordable, $800,000 range all the way to 1.1 for 3-bedroom in that neck of the wood is really, I guess, it's really rare to find, beside the fact that's going to be 4 to 5 years from now, so it's no brainer. Do we have any question on the chat room at all that you can maybe share so we can respond?
I guess there's some questions about where to fill out a worksheet and whether there's pricing or what have you. So that's what I'm referring to. In case you'd like to move forward, and this is our recommendation, even though in doubt, go ahead and do a worksheet and basically go as far as signing the APS. You have 10 days to think about it. You could drop it at any moment. No questions asked. We just want to make sure we have your correct contact information in order to reach out and provide you with the price list and walk you through the worksheet process.
Absolutely, and one thing that I can add to that, I mean, it's just a deja vu. I'm thinking of 20 years ago, we had the launch down the street. 10 years ago, again, a couple of doors down, 11 Wellesley across the street, or even Brit, maybe about 6-7 years ago. nobody could see how much the potential the area had. The growth was substantial, and the needs are superseding. So, I mean, I can see that just the history repeat itself. Just the cost of the constructions keep going up, and it's like somebody tells you, "Can you buy, or would you like to buy my property for the price of 4 years ago?" It's just no brainer. 4 and 5 years ago, gonna go like in a blink, and whoever could put their name now on the unit, they're gonna be laughing. Anybody have any questions that you can read by me, and maybe we can try to respond from the back office team?
Yes, we have a few questions. I'm just going to quickly touch on. Is this project launched yet? Yes, we just did. So yes, so the pricing is going to be released. Floor plans, you have them on our website. We have again the repeating questions: how to do the worksheet, how to submit the worksheet, the price average, which we kind of got a sense out of the presentation for the price average or the price range, if you will. But if you want the specific unit pricing or for specific units on the specific floors, then we have to reach out to you and go over the hot sheet one by one to pick and choose from, and put down the top 3 choices on the worksheet. Pretty much the rest of the questions are along the same line.
Okay, so I guess pretty much that's a straightforward arrangement. Take advantage of that. Try to be first. The second and third release is going to be higher. So some people, they used to buy and flip and try to trade. I'm not saying that's really something that the builder would like to hear, but I mean, no matter what, I think we are there for making the, I guess, getting the result and try to get an allocation and help you guys to try to find the best investment.
We have one new question. Please send me the price list. Tonight, I'm sure you appreciate the fact that it's a launch, and it's a rather exclusive launch within the friends and family stage. We would not be able to send information out, although we could reach out to you and discuss the pricing and the units basically on a one-on-one basis.
And to be fair, Ali, I think it's just like the beginning of 2020, Centercore started launching 199 Church, and at the time we did not have the exact pricing. The price range would be sufficient, and we have the price guidelines now: $800,000 for 1 bedroom, $900,000 for 2, and up to $1.1 million for 3 bedrooms. So it's not that we don't have. We have the guidelines, and of course that's going to be based on the elevations and views and so forth. And I'm sure that everybody want to perhaps be very specific on that, but that guideline is sufficient to try to pick up your worksheet and try to put your name on higher floors on certain units, or lower floors you want to be buying at the bottom. Some investors used to just talk to me only that they want to buy in the bottom of the building because they know that's just the bottom line. If anybody going to be looking at buying things in that building, or they want to be in that location, that's really pretty much the bottom of the prices. So up to you guys. It's really up to your perception on receiving the idea of what would be your target client at the end, whether you want to live there, or you want to perhaps visit out to somebody like Usai or as a celebrity. So it's possible that you can pick your best based on your own, I guess, targeted clients, and discuss that with the team. They're experienced guys. They're specialized. They're not like any other, I guess, generalists. So I'm sure that they're going to add lots of value to you guys, and they're going to be looking at you to support, to help, and they're not just going to drop the ball halfway through. So that would be my promise. So having said that, if there is no other questions, we're going to conclude it for tonight. And thank you again, everybody, for attending. And it's quite late now, and it's quite snowy out there. So if you're going somewhere, drive safe and stay in touch. We'll be in touch hopefully by tomorrow.
Have a great night.
Bye now.